A caterpillar pupa imago. A caterpillar pupa imago. The white witch moth lives in the forest of Suriname. Rare, elusive, her wings are haunting. In the shadow of her wings, the story of two women. Maria Sibylla Marion, 17th century artist, entomologist, renowned as the world's first ecologist for her groundbreaking studies in insect metamorphosis. And an indigenous Surinamese woman, name unknown. From my youth onwards, I was consumed by an interest in insects, in which I began with silkworms in my native Frankfurt. I collected all the caterpillars I could find in order to observe their metamorphosis. And therefore I withdrew from society in order to devote myself to these investigations. At the same time, I endeavored to become proficient in the art of painting, that I might paint and describe them, all that I saw from life. In 1699, when I was 52, I went on a ship from Amsterdam and sailed to the Dutch colony of Suriname, where slaves labored on sugar plantations. But my aim was to study the life cycles of insects. I was the first European to set forth on a purely scientific expedition. The Warao of Suriname say their tribe resulted from the mating of a man and his bee wife. The Lokono, my people, tell the story of how spiders and birds came to the aid of one of our great heroes. For us, all beings are kin. All beings are endowed with spirit. When I was given to be servant to Maria Marion, I brought her her first taste of pineapple. What did you see, Maria? What did you see? What did you paint, Maria? What did you paint? Ripe pineapple with life stages of Dido long-winged butterfly. I opened my grand opus, The Metamorphosis of the Insects of Suriname, with a painting of a pineapple. And I wrote in my notes, this fruit tastes as though grapes, red currants, apricots, apples, and pears were all mixed in it. Its scent is lovely and strong. I found that caterpillar in the grasses next to where the pineapple grew. Looked at with a magnifying glass, the dust on the wings of the adult looked like fish scales. So closely Maria looked at moths and butterflies? Did she ever truly see me and my longing to grow wings? What did you see, Maria? What did you see? What did you paint, Maria? What did you paint? Costus plant with life stages of banana stem borer moth. I found that plant in the forest, but one must not pick plants there because of the heat they would wither at once. And so I had my Indian dig it up by the roots and carry it back and plant in my garden. There were many things to discover in the forest there, if only it were accessible. The forest there is so thick with thorns and thistles, I had to have my slaves go before me with axes to hack open the pathway. Yes, I dug up the plant, careful not to harm its roots. I, too, was uprooted. There was no one to tenderly plant me back among my people. The Indians told me many things when I inquired what plants were used for medicine, to wrap wounds, which root they pounded to make a red paint with which they adorned their bodies. What did you see, Maria? What did you see? What did you paint, Maria? What did you paint? Peacock flower with life stages of Carolina sphinx moth. In my grand opus, I included a painting of the peacock plant, and in my notes I wrote, the peacock plant has red and yellow flowers. The seed of it is used by women in childbirth to carry on labor. The Indians also use it to abort their children. The Indians, not treated well in service to the Dutch, do not wish their children to be slaves as they are. This I heard from their own mouths. Yes, I sent away my unborn child. I did not wish her to live as a slave. So often I saw Maria Marian absorbed in wonder, but her wonder had a shadow. One day she sent me to the riverbank and told me to bring back a female toad. That kind of toad does not live in her country, she said. You see, our Pipa carries her eggs embedded in her back, and when the toadlets reach maturity, they wriggle out of the honeycomb skin of her back. The woman kept me in a basin of river water, and for days she closely observed me. And when my moment of joy came, and my children began to emerge from my back, she grabbed me. She threw me in a jar with liquid that burned like fire. I struggled, but I soon perished along with all my children in that fiery liquid. What did you see, Maria? What did you see? What did you paint, Maria? What did you paint? See purslane with Peepa Peepa toad giving birth. There is a kind of cress that grows in Suriname, used as spinach or in salad, and I thought a toad would not go badly with that cress in order to complete my studies of the insects of Suriname. I tossed the mother in brandy, along with her offspring, some of which had their heads out and some half their bodies. But the heat of Suriname was too much for me, and I grew quite ill. I had intended to stay in Suriname for 5 years. I had to return to Amsterdam after only 2. I had my Indian help me pack all the creatures I had preserved, all the crates of pinned butterflies and moths. I needed these specimens in order to complete my research and to paint accurately what I had seen from life. I needed many specimens to sell to collectors in Europe for their cabinets of curiosity. For I, a woman with no formal education, but a great passion for knowledge, I had to finance my own expedition and the publishing of my book. I grew so ill, with fevers and chills that would remain with me the rest of my life. Was I too a specimen? A tool for the wonder of Maria Marian. In July of 1701, she boarded a ship named Peaceful to return to Amsterdam. The ship's manifest documents that she traveled with an Indian woman, no name given. Did Maria take me along to tend to her on the voyage, for she was quite sick then? Did she take me to Amsterdam to help her identify all the plants and creatures in her study books? For I knew all the beings of my homeland deeply. All beings were my relatives. All beings hold spirit. Was I given freedom? Did I ever return home? What happened to me? There is only silence here, for in all the notes of Maria's grand opus, she does not tell my story. She calls me only my Indian. A caterpillar pupa, imago. A caterpillar pupa, imago. And now for meditation. Maria Sibylla Marion was a woman of great courage, curiosity, and talent, and yet, as a naturalist working during the colonial era of slavery, there are shadows to her work. May we acknowledge the sorrows and deep knowing of her indigenous servant and all others whose stories have been obscured. May this story bring a little light. Metamorphosis. At any moment close by, insects are living their exotic and essential lives. Metamorphosis is taking place. Egg, caterpillar, pupa, imago. What curiosity, talent, gift, or aspiration lies within you, your family, your community? How will you protect this egg of potential? Take a quiet moment now to acknowledge, to see and hold this egg in your heart. Imagine the egg opening. The caterpillar emerges. The sole purpose of a caterpillar is to eat, to seek the right nourishment, to shed the skin of one instar after another when that skin grows too tight, to expand. Imagine how you will nourish and expand your gift. At the pinnacle of growth, the caterpillar spins a cocoon or hardens into a protective chrysalis. This is the time of deep introspection, an unraveling of old habits and ways of being in the world, a dissolving of self, a miraculous metamorphosis. Now imagine your own transformation. The adult, the imago, emerges. You are now a being with wings. Celebrate this miracle unfolding in your own self, your family, your community. Egg, caterpillar,